Apartment hunting in North Austin. Today,
Okay, so
we're at the Michael.
To look at an apartment. As you guys probably know, I am moving in July, mid-July, sort of late July, around the 20th. And so I'm still on the hunt for a place to call home. So we are going to go check out a place that's not too far from where I live currently. The place we are going to see today is called the Michael. Now, I've been here probably maybe 2 years, 3 years ago. It's been a while. And I remember really liking the closets here. I thought that spatially, if memory serves me correctly, keep in mind I'm quoting from memory. Let me roll up these windows, hopefully you guys can hear me better. But anyway, as I was saying, if memory serves me correctly, they had really, really tall closets, high ceilings. At least they did on the 4th floor, which is the unit that I'm interested in. And one of the reasons I'm interested in the 4th floor is because here in Austin, typically, if a building has 4 floors or more, then there's an elevator. It's usually these low-rise apartments, you know, 2 and 3 floors that don't have elevators, obviously. But I like living on the higher floors, so I would prefer to live on the higher floor. But, you know, moving in and out in a building with no elevator, it is for the birds. So we are going to try the Michael. Over here to the left is the Michael, and over here to the right is the Amley. This used to be their sister community called the Elizabeth, but it looks like they did a rebranding, so it's called the Amley now, Amley Lakeline. And there's also the Asher over here to the left, but to the right, excuse me. So Amley and Asher are here to the right, and they are leasing as well. But we are going to the Michael here on our left. And right in front of us, if you keep straight, would be 620. So you have pretty convenient access to a major thoroughfare. So we're gonna go in here and see if we can find something that we love. So I'll see you guys inside. So before we go in, let me enlarge so you guys can see the buildings themselves, what they look like. This is the color scheme of the buildings, sort of like a camouflage green, so very earth or olive green, earth tones and stones. So I'm not the biggest fan of the exterior, but it doesn't really, you know, turn me on or off, so I'm just sort of indifferent. I do like, do you guys see that one here in the center? Let me try to enlarge. Oh, it's that one. Look how big that balcony is. So I would love to see one of those. So anyway, let's go inside and see if we can find something we love. Okay, so we are going to give you an opportunity to pause the video if you want for the contact information here. So here's the address, contact information, the visiting hours, all of that pertinent information. So pause the video if you need to get that. Here in the leasing office / clubhouse, it is typical of most upscale or most luxury complexes where you're going to have a main complex, which typically a main clubhouse, which closes around 10 p.m. or so, that you'll access with the fob after business hours. You'll also have a business center. You'll also have a fitness center. You'll also have a swimming pool. You'll also normally have a doggy park. Some will have a doggy grooming station. Some complexes will have a car wash. But again, it's pretty much the same across the board. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's really just a difference in the motif, a difference in the styling. So depending upon what you like, you may find one more appealing than the other. But basically, it's pretty much the same at every place. So I'll let you guys take a look at this footage and I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more once we get inside the unit. By the way, we're going to see 2 units. These are both 1-bedroom units. We see a smaller unit, which is unfurnished. The smaller unit was approximately $1,525 after all of the fees were tacked onto it. So for me, a very reasonable and very affordable unit. The larger unit is approximately 7,700 square feet, and that unit was about $1,600 after you add all of the fees onto it. So very, very affordable in my opinion. Once again, I can't speak to everyone's affordability, but I like the price points here, and I definitely like the location, and I like the sort of serene feel of this property. It didn't feel chaotic. It felt really, really quiet, very peaceful. So it has a very, very high livability rating on my scale. All right, so we're going to close up our footage here of the clubhouse here in just a second and head over to the unit. And we're going to walk over, so you guys will get an opportunity to walk over. Now, what I did find out once I arrived here is that they have 2 options. So some of the buildings have an elevator and some of the buildings do not. And for me, the elevator is an absolute must. I cannot move into another building that does not have an elevator because I like to live on the 3rd or 4th floor. Don't judge me, but I just feel safer when I'm on a higher floor. I feel like, you know, the robbers, the bad guys, you know, the ne'er-do-wells have easier access to you when you live on the 1st floor. In addition to that, I also feel like insects and rodents have more access to you if you live on the 1st floor. I also feel like the elements, like if it floods, they have more access to you on the 1st floor. So for me, I always choose a 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor unit before I choose a 1st floor unit. So here we are inside of the unit. You guys get to see what it looks like. Now, let me talk about what I love about this. I love not much. No, I do. I like this unit a lot. I wasn't crazy. I will be honest with you guys. It felt a little cramped. It felt a little tight for me. I do prefer more space. And the living quarters, the main living area, felt definitely a little on the tight side. Now, here are those closets I was talking to you guys about early on in the video. Look at these closets. Built in, well, I shouldn't say built in, but the washer and dryers are housed in the closet. But look at all of the built-in shelving that you have here. This is like a custom closet that you didn't have to customize. So the closets, there is so much vertical space. These closets are floor to ceiling. They have so much space in them for such a small unit. So that's one of the things that I liked a lot about this unit. What I did not like about it was the colors. I prefer lighter cabinets, and these were sort of an espresso or a mahogany colored. Not that there's anything wrong with those. Colors is just a preference for me to have lighter colors. I prefer a white or gray cabinet. But again, that's not something that I wouldn't necessarily be able to work around. But for me, what I cannot work around is how tight this living room is. You would basically be able to get a sectional and a TV in that living room space, and that would be it. You don't have any space for a dining room table, but you do have a center island where you can add a couple of bar stools. And so they also have this built in here where you can use it as a desk space, but I'm not the biggest fan of that, and I would prefer to utilize the space to have more space. Let's take a step inside the larger one-bedroom unit. This one is 770 square feet, somewhere around there. Again, costing about $1,600+ per month, not including all of the fees that you may have to pay. So let's budget around $1,700 a month. Now, walking into this unit, you immediately feel the impact that 100 square feet can make, because it feels a lot more roomy, a lot less claustrophobic than the previous unit. The bedroom felt a lot more spacious. It feels like you could actually get a king-size bed in this unit. I'm not sure if the one that they have staged here is a king-size bed. I didn't really pay attention to it, but it looked like it was. It may have been a king or queen size. Again, we have those spacious closets. You guys know how much I love these floor-to-ceiling closets with the built-ins and the washers and dryers inside of the closet. I think that's a really clever way to make up for some of the lack of space in this unit. This is a great unit, and I'll be honest with you guys, this one is pretty high up on my list of potential candidates for where I might be. We will see. We'll see what happens here. But if you are in North Austin and you are out on the hunt looking for a place to call home, definitely give the Michael a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm sort of teetering back and forth. Look at this table, by the way. Listen, if she weren't there, I probably would have taken that table. That table was absolutely beautiful. But back to my point. One of the cons for me is that some of the buildings do not have elevators, and the buildings where they have the larger units available, they're in buildings that do not have an elevator. And for me, I have to draw a hard line there. If it's not an elevator in the building, I cannot accept it. I cannot move in there. But if something happens to come available and, it works, then we may see if this is a viable option. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Happy hustling.